What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. Check out the content. Got my guys in here today. We're gonna talk about some more playoff. And what else we're gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about Giannis. What's the guy named Tyrese Haliburton, his father running on the court. We got a lot of stuff to cover today. A lot. So where y'all want to start at?
Hey, can we start with the WNBA preseason?
All right.
Yeah.
We can do that. The WNBA. What's good?
I'm trying to figure out. I know it's a popular thing to play in college stadiums and everything, but sooner or later, WNBA got to understand that they're above that level. You know what I'm saying? How your first preseason game with your number one pick, you playing in Notre Dame? Somewhere down the line, you got to understand that you're a professional team.
Yeah.
And you're in a professional league. I know you want to support, the college and everything, but damn.
I think with the WNBA though, I don't know. Some people say they're not like really a well-managed league. So maybe, as they feel more confident about like the attention that they're drawing, they get more consistency, and maybe they will start to like put them into everybody will be into bigger arenas, larger arenas that can accommodate more.
I see what you're saying, but that makes no sense to me. Your number one draft pick, your number one star, and she's not playing in Dallas?
Right, yeah.
For the preseason, I don't understand that. Why? And then why Notre Dame?
Yeah,
like
I didn't.
You're not even playing on the same coast. I mean, you're not even playing in the same area.
Yeah. The way I read it, they wanted to lean on Caitlin, right? Because Caitlin was the story of last year, and so they set up this game with the Brazil team in Iowa City, right? And so they did that, and they thought, well, let's just keep rolling with that. And they did the LSU with the Chicago Sky, and I think they tried to go to the well once too often.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
To me, they're trying to put. To me, it looks like they're trying to make sure that they're emphasizing that college game as long as possible because that's where the stars are coming from.
Yeah.
But you're a professional league. Sooner or later, you got to be like, yo, we got to stand on our own. And this is the prime time. You don't see the NBA playing in a college arena for preseason. You don't see NFL teams playing in college. I mean, football stadiums.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You got to sometimes you just got to step out. You got the stars. You're doing what you need to do. So now act like you're a professional team. Your preseason games go to the teams that where they are.
Yeah, it does feel a little gimmicky.
Yeah. It's just not a now, but most of these WNBA teams, they don't even have their own arenas either, though, do they? They don't, you know what I mean? Because they playing where, but I guess that still don't make a difference because they still playing in professional basketball arenas, even if it's not their own.
Right. It's crazy, yo. I mean, I understand when high school teams play in college arenas. I understand that's a level up.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the WNBA taking a level down. That's the part I don't understand.
Yeah.
Now I can understand if Notre Dame was playing in an arena where the professionals play at, okay. But to step down for your preseason game and to show off your superstar, especially your number one pick, to show off in that light, yo, I just don't understand that move, man. Even though she had an okay game, didn't y'all watch the game with her?
I watched a little bit of it. I jumped back and forth between several games, but I watched her a little bit. And I mean, she had an okay game. What she had, like 15 points.
Yeah, she had an okay. She did exactly what Caitlin Clark did when she first came to the league.
Exactly. And she's, and she just has got off of a long college season. And they won the national championship, which means they went deep into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, she's gonna have to go through that same endurance of, hey, I just spent everything to get to the top of the mountain. Now I got to start over and go up against professionals. I mean, that's got to be mind.
Yeah. So do y'all think did she look tired though to you? Like speaking of
okay. She looked okay.
Yeah, and I figure you know somebody like what's she like 23?
Yeah.
23-year-olds don't really get tired. They just need a nap.
Well, and
once they get a nap, they good.
Yeah, and they're not going to ask a lot of her in a preseason game.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then you got to imagine too that this is her first professional game, so she's psyched for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's pumped for it. So she
and they had to go up against the Las Vegas Aces. So that's a big task.
Yeah.
But, and it was definitely all gimmicky because what's the Connecticut star that plays for the Aces? What's her name?
The girl who she came from Connecticut.
Yeah, I think she came from. No, she didn't come from Connecticut. She had to wear a Connecticut jersey to the game. She lost a bet or something like that, and she had to end up wearing a Connecticut. They were talking about on ESPN or something. So,
what school did she? Where did she play at? Where did she play at?
It's the ace superstar. Who's the ace superstar? So you know more about the women's basketball side than I do. So, as far as player. Now,
are you talking about one of the who had that jersey on?
You're not talking about Asia Wilson, are you?
Yeah, I think it was Asia Wilson had to wear a Connecticut jersey or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know about that.
She lost something better, something like that, and the result was she had to wear a Connecticut jersey into Notre Dame.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that. Yeah.
So I know, like I said, no gimmicky move, but I'm just happy to see them playing again. So they out there playing. So that's the only thing that really matters in the long run.
Yeah. I didn't know about that bet though. Yeah. So all right. So I want to get y'all thoughts on like the Lakers. Then the Lakers and the Timberwolves. What did y'all think about the that series right there, the Lakers and the Timberwolves? What y'all think happened?
The Lakers are real small.
They what?
They're small.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. They played small ball and couldn't win.
So, and I got a lot of thoughts on this because obviously I was really invested in the series. But my first thought is we've seen small ball be successful in the past, and I'm thinking Warriors back in the what were their two big championships? It was 2014, 2017, right? Mm-hmm. And their lineup of death or whatever it was called, right? And you can succeed using that approach, but the thing with the Lakers is they're not deep. They had nobody to come off the bench to help slow down Rudy, and if Rudy Gobert has a 24 rebound and a 27 point game, you're not doing it defensively, right?
Right.
And so without having fresh legs coming off the bench and being reliable, they just weren't deep enough to play that kind of ball. And they gave up too much leverage by getting rid of AD and getting Luka. I mean, trade of the century. Everyone was super excited about that to see what was going to happen. And Luka outperformed what my expectations were going to be for him right away. I mean, he jumped in and was effective right away. Lakers had a great season, won 50. I don't know about great, but a decent season. Mm-hmm. When you can win 51 games, that's a real good season.
Yeah,
they knocked down the third seed in the West, but they were not prepared for a 7-game series. And I thought Fisher did a great job of game planning and taking away certain pieces, right? And that last game they shut down Austin Reeves, and that without any backup, those starters at the end of the game were gassed.
Right.
And JJ did not have anything. There was no place for him to turn. And he even got that question at the press conference that really pissed him off about being was that a rookie mistake or whatever. And JJ's going to be fine. The Lakers are going to be fine. JJ's are going to be fine, but they did not have the right lineup for the playoffs.
Yeah. And so like when Magic Johnson was criticizing JJ Redick for playing LeBron and Luka too much, I was like, well, what else can he do? Because the only chance he really stood JJ Redick was if he take those two guys off the court at the same time to rest them, then you fall further behind. And now when they get back in there, they have to work, that much harder in order to catch back up.
Yeah.
So, and it showed at the end of the games, fourth quarter, neither one of those guys could really score, consistently in the fourth quarter because they was out of gas by the time the fourth quarter came around.
And the Timberwolves played them physical too. I mean, when Luka went down, he got whacked in the back or whatever. He was hurting and got his free throws, but right after he got his free throws, he had to go into the locker room because he was hurting. I mean, they really ran them and wore them out and were physical, and you got to have some backup on the bench if you're going to play that kind of small ball.
Now, could you tell? Do it seem like Luka was out of shape though? Do you think Luka was out of shape?
I mean, it wasn't. I just thought because they didn't have anybody to help rest him a little bit more. I don't know. I don't think it was a conditioning issue. Mm-hmm. I just thought they were out there. He and LeBron were on the court for the entire fourth quarter.
Yeah,
they just couldn't take him out, and they just gassed him.
Yeah. Hey man, what do you think about the Lakers, man, losing in 5? You say they play small ball.
Yeah, the Lakers play small ball. And let's be honest with it. A lot of people, I thought the Lakers were going to at least go to the finals because of what they had. But realistically, if you look on paper, they got a 40-year-old superstar. Mm-hmm. They got a, not out of shape, but not really in shape superstar. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
No big.
You know what I'm saying? And no bigs, nobody that can spread the floor, nobody that's going to run with them. And Minnesota's a running team. Mm-hmm. I think this opportunity, though, gives to the Lakers to go out there and really shoot for what they need, get LeBron out of the equation, and say, hey, LeBron, if you want to play for us next year, this is what we're putting together. Not say, hey, LeBron, what do you want to play for us? You know what I'm saying? This gives the Lakers an opportunity to really go and build successfully now. So, it's a shame that the Lakers came out that way, losing the way they did, but reality check is a mother. You know what I'm saying? And LeBron is 40. That's a reality check in itself. You know what I'm saying? We're still comparing LeBron to the LeBron when he first got into the league type LeBron. And he ain't that dude.
Yeah. So moving forward though, do LeBron seem like he's on a championship team? Do you think he could be a second option, or he need to be further down the chart?
I think he needs to understand that he's a 2 or a 3.
Yeah.
I think LeBron needs to understand what his role is going to be moving forward. He's not the LeBron James that he was back then. He's not going to be that option that he will always be coming as the superstar that he always used to be. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he got to play that role, like, hey, you may LeBron may have to come off the bench.
I was going to say, I don't even think he's a third option on a championship team. Because if you think about a third option, they want you to score and be able to defend, at a high level. So, and mainly defending if you got number 1 and number 2 to score. And so LeBron at the third option, he wouldn't even be able to offer you that. So I think coming off the bench, I think LeBron, or on a championship caliber team, I think LeBron will be more suitable. He's not going to be able to lead or carry nobody.
Right, but if you look at the championship teams that's out there, let's say somebody like Golden State, they're a championship quality team. They don't have no use for LeBron James. They need size too.
Right.
Let's say somebody like OKC. He can't go to them because OKC will run him out the building. You have to have a defibrillator around with LeBron James if you go to OKC. Medics will literally have to be on the court. because he will pass out. It's the champion. See, LeBron is in a weird place right now. The championship teams that are championship quality won't be able to really use him. He won't be effective with those teams.
Mm-hmm.
And he won't play with teams that he can really make a difference on because they are the sorry teams. Like LeBron would make a difference. He'll make a difference on Miami, okay, if he would decide to go somewhere like Miami. But Miami need big men. You know what I'm saying? What LeBron can bring to the table, Miami really, they could use but don't need.
Mm-hmm.
See, LeBron's skills right now is a use type thing. And most teams are right now shopping for need. So, LeBron best bet, if he stayed with the Lakers, give them a hometown discount so they can go out and get more players to put around Luka. So they can actually go out and see if they can get Giannis. Or go out and see if they can get some of these younger guys and everything. And LeBron just come in and play a role.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he may not want to be a bench player, but hey, if you say, all right, you're a star, but you only may play 15, 20 minutes at the most, that's what it is.
I even heard rumors of LeBron being going to Phoenix and teaming up with Kevin Durant. And some people say that because LeBron's youngest son Bryce plays. Well, he going to Arizona in school at Arizona. So yeah, so
I think LeBron's married to the Lakers for the rest of his career, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
And the thing that the Lakers are only good at, they're not good at developing into developing players internally.
Mm-hmm.
They have made it a goal to build their championship teams by piecing things together with free agents. And they're not gonna. So where if LeBron's going to get another championship before he retires, the Lakers are going to have to piece it together, and that's the only way it's going to happen. And I don't think LeBron goes anywhere else.
Yeah, and that's my thoughts exactly, Jim. If LeBron stays and plays next year, the Lakers are going to have to bring somebody like Giannis in. You know what I'm saying? And then bring a true point guard in, and fill that bench with has-beens or maybe those are just over that hump now that they're really not considered superstars, but they can maybe contribute, 5 points, 2 rebounds a game or something like that.
Yeah.
So because the Lakers' problem is big men and bench this year. That was that Lakers' problem, big men and bench. If they can address those issues, then they may have a chance depending on what happens in the West come the offseason.
Yeah.
So you think if they get Giannis, y'all think if they got Giannis, that makes them a contender again, like Giannis, Luka, and LeBron?
That gets them a lot closer, but they still need to address that issue of what do they do when their starters and their big names are putting in a lot of minutes and they need to pull some guys off the bench in the fourth quarter, right? Because that's what absolutely killed them in those last 2 games.
Yeah.
Right.
Those guys were gassed in the fourth quarter.
Yep. But if they can mess around and get Giannis with the Lakers and LeBron decides, and LeBron decides that okay, I will play with Giannis for his last year, because that's what's going to be the deciding factor for LeBron in next year. Is who the Lakers bring in to play with them. If they don't bring anybody to play with them, it's still just Luka, then LeBron is going to retire.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go the same route that they did this year. They gas, too many games. They get to that game 5 in the playoffs and they're gassed. It's going to be the same issue. But if they go out there and make some legitimate moves that LeBron feels as though, okay, we can win with this team, then I can see them doing because I think Phoenix is going to rebuild. Okay, I think Phoenix is in rebuilding mode. Now, if the Lakers can go and get Devin Booker, okay, and if you got Devin Booker and you got Luka, that will say, hey, LeBron, here we go. I'm putting this together. This is a 3-man race right here. We can put some role players around you 3 guys. It's a possibility. Lakers may see that. But this year, there's a lot of teams rebuilding and selling off their assets to go that young route that Houston went, that OKC went, that Cleveland went. That seems to be the new standard of way to go to rebuild a team. So, it may fit an older team like the Lakers and Golden State and the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
So I could definitely see it happening.
Yeah, I think that they got to get somebody like Giannis, somebody, well, that's not a lot of people like Giannis, but I think if they got Giannis would be the closest thing for the Lakers to be back in like championship contention. They still need a point guard though if they got Giannis, because they need, somebody to run that offense. Luka to me is just and Luka got to get in basketball shape. He in good shape for the YMCA or something like that, but like he just these last 4 quarters, he running out of gas in the fourth quarter. And what does it look like? 25, 26 years old? Like,
yeah, he's what I think he's 24, 25. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
He's been a professional since he was 17 or something like that.
Yeah.
So he got some miles on him in the leagues.
Yeah, man. Now, what's good, Tunk? What's good?
What's going on, fellas? Man, sorry about my later ride. We're more fashionably late. Fashionably late.
It's all good. It's all good. We in here talking about the Lakers, man. Like what could the Lakers bring to their team to make them, put them back in contention? And we was talking about Giannis could possibly go there and do. Well, do you think Giannis is enough though to get them back into contention, that championship contention?
I think Giannis is, but what would they have to give up to get him? That would be the big question. Like, what would they have to give up to get him?
Yeah,
because he's not a free agent. So,
and do they have anything to give up?
Yeah, right now the Lakers really don't have anything to give up. They said right now the team in the best position for Milwaukee is San Antonio.
And I heard Miami, but I only know if Miami have the assets, man. I wouldn't want no.
Miami doesn't have any top draft picks. San Antonio has 2 lottery picks this year.
Okay.
Yeah, they have 2 lottery picks this year.
Okay.
So out of everybody, the 3 teams right now being mentioned is Miami, Houston, and San Antonio.
We know Houston. I did hear Houston. I did hear about Houston. I did hear about them. Yeah,
but Houston's story's not finished yet, so they can get a real low draft pick this year.
But see, the thing about it is they might have to give up Jalen Green to get them. So they might have to give up some of their young, players to get Giannis over there.
Right.
Yeah.
So right now, San Antonio has the best option because the way San Antonio looking, they could get in the top 3.
Then let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all this: do you think San Antonio getting Giannis? Do you think that was stunt? Do you think that was stunt? My man's growth there. What's my man's name?
Wembyana.
Yeah, right. Do you think that was stunt his growth?
I don't think so.
No. Matter of fact, I think it will help him in anything.
Because offensively, that'll take some of the pressure off of him, and then defensively, he gonna play. He gonna protect the rim.
Both of them will. You know what I'm saying? Both of them. You have one of the best defensive front lines. Just them 2. You know,
you do need a point guard though. You got them 2 on the court together. You need a pure point guard though for those.
Yeah, how many more miles that Chris Paul got? You know what I mean? How many more miles he got?
Who was the rookie of the year that that's playing in San Antonio? What position does he play?
Wemby?
No, Wemby was the rookie of the year. His teammate was the rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Stephen Castle.
Yes. What position does he play?
I'm not familiar with this kid, Stephen Castle.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him either.
Yeah, I just know that I know that like they need a pure point guard that's going to feed them guys when they because you don't want Wemby and you don't want Giannis like taking turns scoring. That's not good for chemistry.
He's a guard.
Oh, he's a guard.
He's a guard. Yeah.
Yeah. You need somebody that's going to run that offense for you.
The thing that makes that a good trade for San Antonio is that Wemby doesn't have to play physical centers in the league. you can always switch that off. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Giannis will probably play power forward, but if they're playing a team with a physical center, you can always switch off of that. That was in Wemby's sort of downfall, is when he get really physical underneath the basket. He will block a shot. Huh?
Because I don't think he is true. I think his true position is probably a 3. That's probably his true position. He just happened to be 7'5" or 7'7", however tall he is.
And that's the way, that's what
it's like a 3. Yeah.
That's the way the Spurs have been playing him.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, if you have that luxury, if you have a power forward and a center, and you had a luxury of being able to put him at the 3, that's a dangerous team right there. You know what I mean? But if you got to play him out of position, then you take away from his effectiveness.
I tell you what.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead, man.
And you're going to say in the NBA, if he's playing the 3, as long as he may be, if he's playing 1-on-1, they're blowing past him at that 3.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the 3 guards he will go up against, even in the West. We ain't talking about in the NBA. We just talk about in the West. They're blowing past him.
His advantage, though, man, he's so long, so he can give space and still challenge a jump shot.
Yeah.
So he can, he can back up a few feet, and then when they go to pull up, he's so long, man, he can still, get a hand up. You know what I'm saying? But I always thought he was more effective on the defensive end than he would be offensively, especially coming in.
Right.
He would be more effective.
Yeah, and that. If he has somebody behind him too, you know what I mean? Like, all right, so if you blow past him and then you still got to go up against Giannis,
right?
And that's that's still tough.
And that poses a huge problem for the Lakers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that happens and Giannis goes down to San Antonio. Now they've got those bigs, and Lakers still are searching for the answer, right, on the inside to help them out. And they got the West, who's been so compact in the playoff race. Now next season they got to deal with Giannis and Wemby and AD in Dallas and the Joker. I mean, that West just becomes that much more of an uphill climb for the Lakers next year.
And who you got? The kid in OKC? What's his name? Chet? What's his name? Holmgren or something like that?
Chet Holmgren. Out of Gonzaga.
I like him too. He just got to stay healthy, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you can get him to stay healthy, their team is much more effective too, because they play great defense. Yeah. And then if you get past one of their, somebody, then you got Chet Holmgren who's going to challenge you.
They got another guy that's long too. They got another guy down OKC that's long too.
That Mobley.
Yeah, there's a Mobley.
I think Mobley is with Cleveland. Right?
No, that's with Cleveland. Yeah.
Cleveland. But it's another guy they got that's.
Yeah, they do have. They got length on that team.
Right.
So that is what I think is hurting the Warriors, is the fact that they playing small ball, and the Rockets went big on them the last 2 games. Now, the one game. The Warriors, I thought they lucked up and won that game when the Rockets they got big Steven Adams out of there, so they was able to eke that win out. But like in the last game that they played against the Rockets, game 6, Steven Adams and Şengün just killed them.
Şengün, right now he's the key to them, man. If you ask me, Şengün, man.
Oh yeah.
And, they didn't take advantage one time of Draymond when Draymond was in foul trouble. Şengün was on the bench when I think Draymond picked up his 4th or 5th foul. And Draymond, he had to go to the bench, but they didn't bring Şengün, right. As soon as that would have happened, I'd have brought Şengün right back in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'd have brought him right back in there, man. As soon as they took Draymond out, I'd have went right back. And then when Draymond and him were on the court together and Draymond had them fouls, it was like Şengün wasn't going at him. You know what I'm saying? Trying to pick up that foul. Yeah, I thought that was interesting, man, that they didn't try to milk that every chance they got.
Because when they went big, that's like I said, that was the difference. Steven Adams, and then you got Şengün in there. So I don't know. What do y'all think though about like this game 7 though between the Rockets and the Warriors?
It's going to be a tough game, because it's in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that game 7 is in Houston. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they the highest seed. Yeah, they definitely.
But see, the thing is, right? You know, I like the boy Jalen Green. I don't know how many points he scored last game, but I know like game 1 he had like 30 or 30 plus, and then the next 3 games he had like single digits.
Right, yeah.
So I don't know if he's dealing with an injury, or illness, or something like that. But look, you ain't got to score 30 every game, but give me a consistent 23, 22. You know what I'm saying? Be consistent like that instead of that up and down roller coaster type series, man. They need him. And then some games one of them games for 4th quarters, he didn't take a shot.
Yeah, well, they pulled him out. I think in game 4.
You're right. They sure did.
He pulled him out.
He sure did. You're right.
I'm just like his fall off. I'm just charging that to the fact that this is his first playoff series. He's young and he inexperienced.
Yeah.
Because even his coach Udoka said that when you are not scoring, you know, you still can find other ways to be effective in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, defense, you can still be aggressive. You still can make you make the other team respect you, even though your shot is off.
That's right. Playmaking, rebound.
So he didn't do any of that. That's why Udoka pulled him out in game 4.
Yeah.
You know, down the stretch. So he got to learn that it's not just all about scoring.
I'm about to say, because a lot of people, like, if they're not scoring, they're not effective.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not effective at all. So if they're not scoring.
Yeah.
You're right. That's a good point. That's a good point.
So I did, you know, that's my choice right there, like the Golden State Warriors. But they put themselves in a tough spot going back to Houston.
I know.
And Houston, it seemed like Houston got them figured out. Because look, like I said, game 4, Udoka went big, and that right there, he didn't go away from that in game 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, in game 6. Game 5 and game 6, he went big.
Mm-hmm.
And so in game 6, they lost the game before that, but he's still stuck with that big lineup. Right. That big lineup paid off in game 6. So
you think that's the formula he gonna stick with now? You know what I mean? Just stay big.
Yeah. It's worked for him the last 4 or 5 quarters. It has worked for the Houston Rockets, you know. So I think they're gonna stick with that big lineup. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how Steve Kerr is gonna counter that, because to me, Looney is like he's kind of ineffective against Steven Adams. I don't think Steve Adams like a bull. I don't think he's strong as Steven Adams.
Right. He's not. Yeah.
He's not.
And,
he can't play Şengün. The Şengün guy, you see his footwork?
Yeah, he got skill, man. He's skilled, man. He really is. He's skilled. Yeah. I haven't seen a whole lot of him throughout the year, but he is skilled, though.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do, man. You got to shoot. Steph Curry got to shoot lights out.
Yeah.
But see, that's what it is, Mike. I was going to make this point. It seemed like the other players, Buddy Hield, we all know he can shoot it, but it seemed like Steph is the only one that does shoot it. It's like Buddy Hield don't shoot. You know what I'm saying? I think when he should, you know.
Well, Buddy Hield is kind of limited, and so this is Buddy Hield's game. Buddy Hield can't put the ball on the floor and create for himself. So if Buddy Hield coming off of a screen or something and he open, he gonna knock that down. So they not giving him that. They got enough length to where as though they can recover and and affect this shot.
Make him put the ball down. Yeah.
That's it. Buddy Hield is not effective like that. You want Buddy Hield going to the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not creative like that.
Make it a move.
Jimmy Butler's gonna play, right?
Yeah.
So Jimmy's got to do his part too.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to get production out of Butler and Steph, and let the role players step up.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So
Jimmy, man, is real good at creating contact, man, and getting to the free throw line. You know, he a mid-range monster, things like that.
Yeah.
He get a lot of tough baskets, you know what I mean, in the lane, 10 feet away, things like that. And he gets to the line. So the thing about Jimmy Butler is, man, he can create his offense just by creating fouls and going to the free throw line. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he can create his offense that way. But the Houston, man, it's a double-edged sword because they're young, you know what I mean, inexperienced, like you pointed out, Mike, but they're so athletic, man. They're so athletic, man, and you know, they can run for days. And make slowing the game up offensively, you know what I'm saying, with Shangoon and stuff like that, playing big, you know what I mean, is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
Game 7, yeah. But see, you know, when you got a young team, they want to get out and run and up and down, but that might not work to their advantage against Golden State.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to mess his name up, but I agree that the Warriors are. I'm not comfortable with the Warriors being in this position of playing a game 7. I'm a Warriors fan too. I picked them, but they put their backs up against the wall when they allowed this to go back to Houston.
I know.
And you know, even though they have experience on their side, but they also owe, like you said, it's a double-edged sword. With you know,
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just getting into it. I was a little busy. But I'm saying, like, man, let me ask you a question though. What was you expecting though? I was
hoping that the Warriors would be able to get these kids out of here early because they need to rest. You don't want to play an extended series. You know what I mean? And you're an older team. You can't play like 7 games, and spend to win a championship when everybody is up in age.
But let's be realistic. You're talking about the number 2 seeded team playing a playing team.
Right. Yeah, you're right. They're playing a 3 seed and a 6 seed. Is that what they are? A 3 versus a 6.
Here's number 2.
2 and 7.
Yeah.
2 and a 7.
Yeah.
All right. So, a 2 and a 7. All right. So you got a 2 and a 7. Yeah, you know. But like I said,
that's not your average.
I'm just glad that Golden State is there. But we're playing like when they picked up Jimmy Butler, they automatically turned into a championship team, which we know it really isn't true.
But they start rolling. Remember when Jimmy got there, they start rolling. They was like, what, 17-3, something like that. They went on a little stretch like that.
Yeah.
It's 20 games in. They was like 17-3. So a lot of people was thinking like, oh, this was the missing piece.
Right.
They can get back in championship form, you know.
All it would have taken.
They still had to play the play-in game.
Right, and that's the point. All they would have had to done was win one more game. That we've talked about it for several weeks. That West was so compact between the 3rd and the 7th and 8th seed teams, and that last weekend everyone was jockeying for position, and it just so happened that the Timberwolves jumped up to 6, and they fell down to 7.
And you know the game that killed them was that San Antonio game, and what's the name hit that buzzer beater against them. Yeah. That's kind of like knocked them into the play-in round. That game there pretty much, you know what I mean? And that was a home game too.
And we could be talking about a completely different bracket where the Warriors were playing against the Lakers, and they I'm sure they still beat them.
Yeah.
The way the Lakers were playing, and as gassed as they got in the 4th quarter, Jimmy Butler and Draymond, those guys could have beat all over them guys, right? So I it's just the luck of how the season ended up that they ended up in the play-in, and the Timberwolves got to hold on to number 6.
And you know what's ironic? The guy from that hit the game winner, San Antonio, what's his name? He used to be with Golden State. What's his name? Went to Carolina. He ended up with the KD trade. I can't even think his name.
His name not Moutier, is it?
No. He went to Carolina. Man, what's his name? Man, he a small forward. Man, I can't think of Carolina. Man. Yeah, he went to Carolina, but he the one that hit the game winner. He was San Antonio now. He the one that hit the game winner against Golden State.
I could picture this kid, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I can't think of his name for nothing.
Yeah. I just think that so the Golden State needed a favorable seeding also. Or is that Harrison Barnes? Harrison Barnes.
Oh,
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. I didn't yeah, man. I just didn't think that Golden State needed more of a favorable path to the championship because they can't afford to go 7 games. And these young kids too.
Yeah. But then even if they get over the hump, that's not that much rest for for the round 2.
Yeah,
and they got to get right back at it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They got to get right back at it.
And then you got this dude, what's his name? Dylan Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
He every chance he get, he hitting Steph Curry on the thumb and all this other extra activity. This weighed down on an older guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, man, they put themselves up
Hey,
against it.
did you see the picture of Steph Curry's thumb?
No, I didn't see the picture.
Man, they got a blow up picture of his thumb, which is nasty as I don't know what looking, man.
Yeah.
So it's swollen, but it's not broken.
Right.
Right. Right at the bone too. It's swollen right at the joint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I know every time that dude Dylan Brooks hit it, it gotta hurt.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to play through that. But I think that's all. Long as he ain't doing nothing crazy, that's all basketball, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all basketball.
And I think even Steph Curry said, the hand is part of the ball, so he not.
Right.
He not making it's the extra activity that goes on after you release the ball that that they don't really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because it's not a foul no more.
Right.
It's not a foul in the NBA anymore. So
I don't remember when it was though.
Back in the day it was when you go for a jump shot and they hit your hand on the come down. That was a foul in the NBA at one point in time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they were talking about it on the NBA TV. It's like everybody talking about the physical nature of the game now has changed, but that's one of the parts that's changed for the worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we didn't even mention the guy Fred VanVleet, right? He I think his impact on this, he had playoff and championship experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's been playing pretty good, throughout this series. So we can't
he's the for me, he's the I guess the coach on the floor for Houston. Like you say, he has that championship pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
He's a veteran. So he the one that could, pull them guys together on settle them down. And he's a point guard. So that helps as well. You know what I mean? Settle these guys in it down and things like that. So that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah,
but
man.
I like VanVleet. I like him.
I like him too. Like he's been pretty consistent throughout, like I said, throughout this series.
Mm-hmm.
What was he at Toronto when they won that? He was at Toronto, right? Yeah, when they won that. Yeah. So I think that's.
And I think Houston gave him a nice contract too.
Yeah, when he first came there, that's how they lured him out of Toronto. That he followed that bag. He already had the championship. So
exactly. He already had his chip. Now go get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Now it's time to get paid. Yep. So man, these young teams, man. But let me ask y'all this though, because to me, I like these younger teams, and like Houston. I like OKC. I like the look and the style of the play. They play at both ends, both teams, and so that's a good sign for the NBA overall when you got some young, the young guys in there. They playing aggressive and they playing at both ends. What y'all think about that?
Oh, for sure. And OKC, I haven't watched a game with them from end to end, but when I do, they real active on both sides. You know what I'm saying? On offense and defense, they real active, man, and they get out. They long, they run. You know what I'm saying? I like that. And it puts me in the mindset. Cleveland is like that as well.
Right. Yeah.
Cleveland is like that as well. And man, did y'all see that massacre they put on Miami? I might be man, 50 point. Man, that was when I saw the score, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I couldn't even believe that, man. I mean, I guess I ain't see the game, but I'm like, man, maybe Miami just mailed that in, man.
They did.
They had to.
Right.
Definitely. But and so because of that and the way Miami performed in this series, that has led people to think that it's time for Pat Riley to go, right?
They showed a shot of Pat Riley during that game sitting in the stands. He did not look happy.
Yeah.
See, you bring up an interesting point, Mike, because Miami has this what you call it, Mike? Maybe like a mystique. You know, like they have this type of aura. They have this type of, I don't know, you know, almost comparing it to the Patriots, the Patriot way or the Miami Heat way, and you got Pat Riley running things, and like, is he out of touch now? A lot of people don't like how he handled that Jimmy Butler thing. They say, man, he could have traded Jimmy way before, you know what I'm saying, the move that he made and got a lot more for him. They say him holding on to Tyler Hero. They say a couple other trades was offered in the last year or so where he could have moved Tyler Hero and he refused to for whatever reason. So yeah, I've been reading that they say maybe Pat Riley lost his touch a little bit, but it's just interesting, man, because you never would think you would hear that, especially Pat Riley in Miami. He the reason Miami is basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And to your point though, I don't think it's a Miami Heat mystique. I think it's a Pat Riley mystique. Because remember, he had this type of mystique when he was running the Knicks, when he was coaching over at the Knicks.
And the Lakers.
And the Lakers.
Right, and the Lakers. So I think it's a Pat Riley mystique. And I just think he doesn't have the ability to relate to what's going on in the NBA right now. His style of management and coaching just doesn't relate no more.
But see, the thing about it is, that's a good point, man. But they was just in the finals 2 years ago. So you like, well, is he that far out of touch? But you know, his franchise was just in the championship series 2 years ago. So is he really that far removed? You know what I'm saying?
But they give credit to that team, not to him though, to the coaching of Eric Spoelstra though.
Well, he put the team together. You know what I'm saying? He put the team together.
Right, but remember, Jimmy Butler was on that team 2 years before they did the championship run, and they were just a mid playoff team.
Yeah,
so but that they went to the finals. That was a lot of coaching right there.
Yeah, I think
like
you said what time?
They went to the finals like 2 times in 5 years or 2 times
in 6
years or something like that.
Yeah, 2 times in 5 years.
Yeah.
I just think that their team just got older. You know, all those guys have been there. Adebayo. Then you had what was it? Haslam. All those dudes just got older, right? So that physical style of play and that Miami way of playing, it's good if you can like re-up with the talent and the people who can carry that out. Yep. You know what I mean? But you know, like Bam Adebayo, he's still the same player, but he kind of, you know, he getting up there in age too. He's been there for a good while, and so you don't have anybody besides him and Jimmy Butler when Jimmy Butler was there who could play that style of basketball and be successful at it. So he just don't have the horses to carry out that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's gonna be always be. Yeah,
and him holding on to Tyler Hero, man, when he could have maybe pulled the trigger on, you know what I mean, a couple of trades. You know, Pat Riley, I never questioned his basketball acumen and things like that. It speaks for itself, but it makes you scratch your head a little bit. Like, man, Pat, you could have made some moves. You moved Tyler Hero. Why you like, you know what I'm saying, tied to him like that? But like you said, he know more about his team and basketball than I do. So, you know,
and that's not to say that you know, even though he Pat Riley, that's not to say you don't miss on some.
That's right.
You don't miss on some situations. So I but yeah, I don't think Pat Riley forgot about basketball though.
Right.
No, I would never say, oh yeah,
Right.
Yeah. So
and
the
thing about it is, he's going to run the show until he decides he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
You understand? He's going to run the show. You know what I mean? So he decides he doesn't want to anymore. But like you say, Mike, you got to get talent down there. You know, it's one thing about playing hard and things like that, but you got to have the horses, man. You got to have the horses, man, you know.
Well, they were also talking about on ESPN, they said when Pat Riley do decide to leave and retire, that Eric Spoelstra is moving up to his position.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
So Miami's keeping everything in-house.
Right.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, that's yeah, man. I just think that I think once they get the Miami now, do Miami where they drafting at though? How many like are they like they should be higher up in the draft though.
But see, when that was about the thing, Mike. Why y'all don't think free agents are clamoring to try to go down there? Why y'all feel like free agents not trying to really go down to Miami?
I don't know, man. It's free, tax free down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think free agents will go down there. I think the team just ain't trading to send people down there because Miami doesn't have a lot to give up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying? When you got teams out here like let's say Kevin Durant, for instance. Kevin Durant, he's still under contract with Phoenix. So Phoenix is going to want something for wherever he goes to. So, it's not only about the big time players wanting to play for them down in Miami, it's about what they can give to get them.
Yeah.
They don't have an asset. They don't have an asset.
Yeah. So if you Kevin Durant, like, would you want to go to Miami? Like, what would be the draw like down in Miami?
Right. And then knowing that whatever little talent they have, they might have to give up to get you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like USA, I don't really have an asset, so the little bit of talent they do have, they might have to give up. They might have to give up Bam. They might have to give him up to get him. You know what I'm saying? So you going to basically the same situation you got in Phoenix.
Right. Well, but hey, the blueprint is out there right now, and I think Miami shouldn't give up their assets to get these older big names because the blueprint is out there. Look at Houston, look at KC, look at Cleveland. The blueprint is out there.
I agree.
So everybody, go ahead, Tom.
No, I was saying I agree with man. I wouldn't.
Okay, yeah.
I wouldn't clean covered out. Yeah, for KD, I wouldn't do that.
Those younger teams are building through like length and athleticism. Like when you look at those younger teams, everybody's they got a lot of young athletes and they got length. And so that's what they're building on right now, length and athleticism. I just think that. So if you Kevin Durant, y'all think that Kevin Durant should stay in Phoenix and just try to lure somebody over there?
To me, like I said, Kevin Durant best fit is New York. His best fit. I don't see Kevin Durant going anywhere else where he can be Kevin Durant and make a difference besides New York.
I think he can go back to OKC, right? But sticking to your point though, man. Sticking to your point, right? If you're the Knicks, right? Who you willing to give up for?
See, the Knicks are the opportunity where though all they got to do is speak about draft picks. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We'll give you draft picks for Kevin Durant because Phoenix has the opportunity now to get rid of Kevin Durant, to get rid of Booker, and start rebuilding the whole team. I mean, let's admit, do they need to rebuild? I think they do. And the way the West is going, you getting younger, faster, stronger. You get everything. The blueprint is to get everything back from the younger squad through the draft. To get these great players in the G League. I think that you get rid of Durant, get some picks. You get rid of Devin Booker. You get some picks and you rebuild from your picks.
Now, you talk about that rebuilding through the draft. No one has stockpile of picks like OKC. Man, they got picks, man, from the Westbrook trade. They got picks from the Paul George trade. They got all these first round picks, man, that they got stockpiled up. And I think Kevin Durant, he could go back to OKC and help them. He would be that veteran presence. He could go back and help them. He's still a bucket getter. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think he would mess up the chemistry. I don't think he would mess the chemistry up. I never really thought about the Knicks, though.
Right, but to me, Kevin Durant at OKC would be the worst thing they could do. Because two things that goes on when you bring Kevin Durant in. Kevin Durant, it might not be him, it may be him, I don't know, but he changed the chemistry of your team when he gets there. And OKC is already at the top. So, if they, let's say they go to the conference finals and lose in the finals, okay, I don't think bringing Kevin Durant in is going to get them over the finals and humble whoever they lose to. See, Kevin Durant to me is a different beast of all types of players. sometimes he looks good, sometimes he looks bad. But if your chemistry is already there, I don't think you should bring him in. Because look what he did to Phoenix.
You had mentioned that
Phoenix had
before,
just went
man.
to the championship.
You had mentioned that before about Kevin Durant, man. This was a few shows ago where you were thinking like, you know what I'm saying? He not real good. I don't think he's a chemistry killer though. I don't think that about Durant. I don't think he's like he's not gonna be a team leader. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna be that. But if you want somebody to come in there and show up every day, you know what I'm saying, and get buckets, I think he's good at doing that. But I really don't. I
and you're right. Kevin Durant will get his buckets.
Say again.
And see, I'm not saying Kevin Durant won't get his buckets. But my problem is I think his chemistry is somewhere off because Phoenix, before they picked him up, Phoenix was in the finals. And
you know why though, right? You know why though, right? That wasn't even the same Phoenix team, but you know why? Yeah, you know why
they had to get him.
Right. Well, you know, so it was a whole different team he came to. You know, Chris Paul was gone, the big boy, I can't think of his name. Mike, maybe you can help me with that.
Andre Ayton.
Yeah. Ayton. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Ayton, he was gone. You know what I mean? They had a perfect. I wouldn't even have did that trade, to be honest. I'd have ran that back. I'd have ran that back to the Phoenix team, man. I'd have ran that back.
But see, they let Chris Paul run Andre Ayton off the team though.
Yeah, and the coach Monty Williams played a part in that as well.
That's what I'm talking about. The coach let him run that guy off the team.
Right.
So but I kind of see what man talking about though. I think if Kevin Durant go to a team that's like in championship contention, then he'll have to play his role. I don't think Kevin Durant could be like, you know, like he'll have to have a role and accept this role. And I don't think that Kevin Durant would mess up the chemistry if he's willing to accept his role on a team, you know, like OKC, or even if you take like somebody like, now he would have to be on a team like what's the guy that's in Boston? What's the big tall 7-foot guy that's in Boston?
Karolinko?
Yeah. He would have, that would be his type of role, you know, where you got Jason Tatum, you got Brown, you got Jaylen Brown, you got a lot of other talent around him, and Karolinko just serves like a certain purpose, you know, and so he don't really upset their chemistry. And I think that's what, you know, every once in a while Karolinko hit a three, you know, or like if they go on a scoring, you know, if their offense on a downturn for a certain amount of time, then Karolinko can get them a bucket, you know, an easier bucket. And I think Kevin Durant can do that. But is he like, will his pride allow him to accept that type of role where he won't be like, huh?
That's a good question. Yeah, and you and man both make valid points. I just never looked at Kevin Durant as having, and I know he does, but I never looked at Kevin Durant as having a huge ego, you know what I'm saying, on the court. But I know he does, because all great players do, you know what I'm saying? But I just never seen that, you know what I mean, being put first, you know what I'm saying? But
what do you guys think about Kevin Durant at Indiana?
Yeah. I don't know. I never thought about it.
I don't know too much. Like Haliburton and all those guys, I think like those young teams, I don't know. Like I said, if he go to one of those teams with those young horses, then he's going to have to play like a limited role with them. You know,
he be the best player on. If he go to Indiana, he the best player on Indiana.
Yeah, but do you want Kevin Durant being your best player when you see like the type of success? Because he's going to wear off by him being that older guy on the team. Do you want your young players like following in his taking on his leadership, following his leadership?
The thing about Kevin Durant that I always took issue with is that he didn't welcome being a leader. That's something he never really wanted to be. And at this stage, when he was younger, we like, no, man, you need to be the leader. At this stage of his career, maybe you don't. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was from the short score 25 a game, and let somebody else carry that, mantle, that title as the leader. You know what I'm saying? But you make a good point. You and man both make good points. You know what I'm saying? I was just looking at it through different lenses. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Yeah. I just think that Kevin Durant, like, he has to be wherever he go at, he gonna have to be able. He gonna have to accept a like a lesser role on a team, especially if they are already in championship contention. Because even if you look at him, even when he was with Golden State, with Golden State, he was benefiting from playing with a bunch of other great ball players. So you had to stay honest. You know what I mean? You can't double Steph, you can't double Clay, and you can't double, unless you got 6 or 8 people on the court. That's the only way you could double those guys and not get punished for it. So he benefited from that.
Oh, ain't no question about that. Ain't no question about that. Yeah.
So I think
Durant will go down as one of the great NBA players. He will do that. There's no question about that.
Right.
At this point in his career, it's going to be hard to find the fit for him, and it's also going to be hard for a team to figure out what they need from him, because he's a superstar. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have the same issue that Shaq had going down the last part of his career. You want him because you know he can score the points, but damn, how do you get him to score the points?
Or like Carmelo,
right? Or Carmelo, exactly.
Yeah, because people was. Is he?
I don't think that Kevin Durant affects winning like he did, when he was younger. He don't affect winning the way he did, but he's still 25 points a game. You know what I'm saying? He's still, you know what I'm saying? He's still that. Yeah. The Knicks situation would be, you know what I'm saying? It would be ideal in a sense where as though Brunson can be the one that's the leader.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then KD, if he, if he was there, he still gets 25 points a game. He won't be looked at as a leader. You know what I'm saying? You still got Thibodeau, you still got a decent coach. My thing is, all the rest of the pieces, you probably won't have to give up Josh Hart. And you know what I mean? Yeah, he's important. You know what I mean? You probably got to give up Josh Hart. You know what I'm saying? You probably got to give up a couple other pieces. They're going to ask for Karl Anthony Towns, even if the Knicks don't give him up. They're going to ask for him. You understand? So, the thing is, what would you give up to get him?
Right, and that's what the one thing the Knicks or anybody else does that wants to go get Kevin Durant. You can't give up your nucleus for him. Look what happened to Phoenix when they did that. Yeah. It actually made them worse. So, you got to keep your core in. You got to keep your stars there and figure out a way with draft picks to bring Kevin Durant in. Because
we talked about that, though. If y'all remember going back, man, we like, man, who's going to make sure they get the ball in their spots? Because you got Bradley, you got Devin Booker, and you got KD. You needed somebody to quarterback that team, man, and they never had it. It's almost like all of them are one-on-one type players. You know what I'm saying? All of them are one-on-one type players.
And it seems like the GMs are forgetting about who is going to manage these guys on the court.
Yep.
Because everybody puts all these these shooters on the court and these rebounders, but who is guiding them in the game?
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Point guard position is too valuable, and it seems as though teams forgot about him.
You better believe it is. You better believe it is.
Well, what do y'all think about Bradley Beal? The coach asked Bradley Beal if he got offended when the coach asked him that he needed him to fill more of a what's the guy named Drew Holiday type role on the team. And Bradley Beal
Bradley Beal pushed back. Yeah, he pushed back. And I think that was, part of the reason why that coach got fired, man. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get a superstar unhappy, man, the coach gonna be out of there before anybody. You know what I'm saying? But Bradley, man, not now, but at one time Bradley was a talent. Bradley could score the ball. You know what I'm saying? But Bradley, no one looking at Brad like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? He a winner. You know what I'm saying? He could carry a team. You know what I'm saying? He could get us to another level. Right. You know what I'm saying? Nobody looked at him that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Bradley Beal at this point in his career, he's somebody who was like a sofa surfer, somebody who sleep on your couch and it's hard to get him out your house now, right?
Yeah, he got squatters' rights now. You know that
he's a squatter. Yeah.
he got squatters' rights now. Yeah.
So man, you got to take him to court to get him out of there.
Exactly, man. That no trade, man. I think they say Washington the one that gave him that no trade, man. I mean, and I understand a lot of people say, man, well, they had you. You know what I'm saying? They had to give him. Yeah. But man, that's crazy. That's
man. Crazy. And Bradley Beal now he don't want to leave Phoenix.
Right. He love it out there. He love it out there. Yeah. So it's like you say, you stuck with him, so you can move KD and you can move Devin Booker. Yeah. But I think the franchise really, really love Devin Booker, man. I think they really love Devin Booker because
he was their original draft choice, though, right? Yeah. So that's their guy. And I like Devin Booker.
Me too.
I just think that they don't have the right pieces around Devin Booker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Kevin Durant without a point guard is not a good fit with Devin Booker. And Bradley Beal, I know they probably wish they had left him in Washington.
Right.
Because,
that's tough. That's one of them things that look good on paper. You know what I'm saying? Good on paper, but then you put it on the court, man. They're like, it ain't really what I thought it was. It ain't really what I thought it was going to be.
So I know
what I thought it was going to be.
Those GMs, like the GMs now. So the decision for the GM, the Dallas man, what's his name? Nico Harris. So people not dragging him no more now that the Lakers went out in 5. But at first, he needed 24-hour security.
Yeah, he was getting death threats and all that. But Mike, why do people absolve ownership from these moves, man? Nico Harris is not doing anything like that without the owners signing off on it, man. I don't get that, man. He's the face of the trade.
Right, that's why he there, so he could fall on that sword.
Right, that's right.
That's right.
He's the face of the trade, but he's not trading no Luka, man, without the owners saying no. You know what I'm saying?
But you got to understand this, though. Most owners aren't basketball-eligible people. They just own the team. So they count on their managers and their GMs to give them the advice on what to do. So I'm sure when that Luka thing came up, the first thing they didn't do was to go over to the owner and be like, hey, you want to trade Luka? No, they went to the general manager first. The general manager then presented the deal to the owners. So that's why you got to go with the general manager.
Who presented it to the general manager? Who you think presented it to him?
The coach.
The coach. The Lakers. The Lakers.
No way. No way, Jason Kidd. No way, Jason Kidd would suggest that they trade Luka.
No, I'm not talking about Jason Kidd. I'm talking about the Lakers organization.
So you think JJ
about the Lakers?
So you talking about JJ Redick said let's trade for Luka?
Yes.
Hell no. Man, don't give JJ Redick way too much credit around here, man. Way too much credit.
I'm talking about the Lakers organization.
Yeah.
What we already know, the Lakers organization, man, is horribly run. It's horribly run.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. Before that trade deadline jumps down, every organization sits down in the room and say, who can we get? All of them sits down there and they want to figure out who they can get before the trade deadline.
Yeah. What?
And if somebody say, look, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I remember we had this conversation, and it was a while back, right after the trade, and we were all talking about Dallas deciding that at the time the rumors were Dallas wanted to move off of Luka because of conditioning and because of the Supermax contract. And so I think I remember at the time most of our consensus was this was Dallas motivated.
Right.
And so that's why I said if it was Dallas motivated and to I want to know why you think that the idea couldn't have originated with Jason Kidd if it was Dallas motivated. I do think it was Dallas motivated.
Because Jason Kidd don't have that much clout in Dallas. He don't have that much clout to say we're gonna trade arguably, you know what I mean, the best player that the franchise has ever had.
Yeah.
Jason Kidd and then if you suggest that as the coach and it doesn't happen, you've done as the coach there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you suggest that you trade the organization's best player and then he doesn't get traded, word gets out, Luka ain't playing for you no more, so you ain't got a job no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I say I don't think J. Kidd. This was just like Jim just said. This was from the organization, the ownership. The ownership. This is strategic. It was about that supermax, that I think it was 353, something like that, 300 something plus million dollars.
It made him the highest paid player in the NBA.
Well, yeah, they was gonna go with that. But the thing about it was they made their money, the owners made their money in casinos. That's where their fortune was made, in casinos. They've been trying to get the slot machine put down in the arena where Dallas played. The legislation have been voting it down. They've been voting it down, right? So now they want to move, word is, they want to move the team to Las Vegas.
Right.
How you gonna move the team to Las Vegas, man? Everybody loved the team. The team just went to the finals. You know what I'm saying? I know how you get the fans to turn against us, the city to turn against us. Trade the best player on the team. So this is financially motivated as well. Trade Luka. Now everybody against him now. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, the GM, you get out in front of it, take the hit. You know what I'm saying? But then everybody gonna turn against us. They still ain't gonna give us the slots. Then we got a reason to move. So they playing, seem like they playing the long game. Seem like they playing the long game.
And ticket sales too can get them out the contract they had for the arena.
Right. So if it goes down,
under a certain level, they can actually move the team and break the contract.
Yeah, so they playing the long game, man. But like you say though, Mike, the GM not getting killed like he was when it first happened, because it's not the first time somebody said, because JJ Redick was supposed to say something to the fact that Luka need to get in shape. That's not the first time he heard that, man. He's been hearing that for a minute. Everybody been saying that.
Yeah.
Who Luka is who he is, man. Maybe being around LeBron, maybe some of that will rub off on him. But you gotta want to do that. You gotta want to do that. And then he play, you know, Luka always in the offseason, he don't dedicate himself getting in shape. He played for his country team. Because they trying to get in the world games, they trying to qualify for the world games, get a championship, so they can qualify for Olympics. So he's playing basketball, but you know, you really don't get in shape playing.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Kenny Smith said you gotta get in shape to play basketball, not play basketball to get in shape.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, I think a lot of people forget that.
So let me address the elephant in the room. What is Kyrie Irving's next move? Because next year he only has 1 year left on his contract.
Yeah.
Does Kyrie force a trade?
I think the trend is around the league, like everybody's going younger now. Like we talked about OKC, we talked about Houston, we talked about Cleveland. I think, you know, like these old guys are just phasing out, and I think the general managers are seeing that, and I think everybody, you know, I think they're just gonna I think they're gonna phase out. Some of those guys probably gonna be disappointed when they end up in places, you know, where as though they they won't be in contender for championships and stuff like that. But they phasing all these. That's why it's important for Golden State to get their rings now.
And Kyrie, man, I don't know how old Kyrie. I'm thinking, what, 33, 34?
Yeah.
I think Kyrie, something like that, man. I don't think, you know what I mean, you bringing Kyrie in now, like you were saying about KD, man. I don't think you bring Kyrie in and like that's the missing piece for us getting over the hump. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know what, man? I wouldn't be surprised, man, this contract when Kyrie retire, man. You know what I mean? I just think he's the cat. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I don't really need that, man. I'm good. You know he's saving his bread. He ain't, you know what I mean, wasting no money or nothing. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kyrie went on and retired, but
you know how freaky Kyrie is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he might say, "Look, I don't feel like playing no more. Fuck it, I'm good." Shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then you won't even hear see him no more. You won't hear see him for 5-7 years.
Let me play NBA 2K 25. I could put Kyrie on them Lakers and grab Giannis. Woo, boy.
Hey, speaking of Giannis, how do y'all feel about Tyrese father get ready to beat Giannis up after the game?
Yeah.
Really?
Y'all think about that?
I tell you what, you that's some alcohol infused
Definitely, man. And Giannis, man, of all people, man, Giannis a class act, man. And y'all remember when Giannis was just looking at him. You know what I mean? Giannis wasn't even talking. Giannis was looking at him, man. Like,
but Giannis disrespected that man, though. He put his head on his forehead, yo.
That was after that. That was after that, man. That was
I know, but it was still the funniest shit I've seen.
That was after that. You know what I mean? Giannis don't know if he about to get attacked or what. If he'd have went at this guy or something, you know what I'm saying? It was just wasn't a good look, man. And Haliburton, he got up there, you know, he apologized to Giannis for his pop. You know what I mean? Apologized as well, man. It just they say it's all the ban for they banned him for something. Yeah, they banned him
to the end of the year.
Yeah.
But how does the security let that happen?
I know.
I need E-Man to help us out, man. How do the expert tell me how this happened?
What it is at the end of the game, the people that buy those floor seats in some arenas, they allowed to go on the floor at the end of the game. That's the purpose of buying those $4,000 floor seats. Okay. The problem is Giannis didn't have security around him personally. So that's how they was able to interact so closely. But interaction happens all the time at the end of NBA games. Those 4,000 floor seats are that price for that experience. So, you know, as far as security wise, it ain't much security can do because that part of the experience is there.
Yeah.
They just, you know, the interaction with the players and stuff. That's why you always see a lot of players at the end of the game always leave early or hurry up and get off the floor, you know, at the end of the game. Because they know that interaction is going to come. And if they're not ready for it, you know, that's the situation that happens.
That's
dangerous. Was just drunk.
Yeah.
That's dangerous, man. That's dangerous.
Yeah. If you've got that alcohol infused bravery, you think you're 7 feet tall and you stand up to a 7 foot tall guy. Yeah, that's on you.
Yeah.
And Dad, you're not playing. I mean, Dad, you know, we want our children to do well. You know what I mean? We cheer for them. You know what I mean? But you're going to go out there and talk trash to Giannis, one of the most humble cats in all sports. I ain't even going to say NBA, in all sports. You're going to sit up there and talk him. But like you say, man, it was that E and J talk.
Now, a lot of us don't understand this, but as a team perspective, the league perspective, and his agent perspective, Giannis should have walked away from that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't even be there.
Now, hold up, man. I'm going to push back. That's where Giannis belongs, on the court.
No. Listen. Right. Giannis belongs on the court. But when you interacting with something like that with a gentleman that has nothing to lose and you're worth millions or hundreds of millions, you walk away from that situation.
Listen, hold up. Wait a minute.
You never know what happened.
First of all, right, I'm gonna say this. He wasn't in Giannis' face. It was maybe like a 6 foot, 8 foot, you know what I mean, between the two. And he was talking trash. Giannis didn't say nothing. Giannis didn't move. He just stood there. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't in the right place. I'm talking about Haliburton Pop. He the one that was out of bounds. I know you say they get, you know, they can do this or whatever. They come on the court and stuff like that. But still, that don't give him the right to come up to a player and start taunting him like that. So for to say that Giannis should have done something different than what he did, I got push back. I got push back.
But see, what I'm trying to say is this: yes, the dude was wrong. He was definitely wrong. He was in the wrong place doing the wrong thing. But Giannis was the one with the most to lose.
Yeah.
So you got to take yourself out of that position.
Well, that's true. You don't. That's true. As if you in Giannis' shoes, you definitely don't want to do nothing to escalate that situation, right?
You
So
gotta leave it.
that's true. But the guy, if because even after that, Giannis said that he didn't realize that was Haliburton's father. He had no idea. So he was just standing there staring at the guy, like wondering what his deal was.
Right.
And that's why Haliburton even felt the need to apologize for Giannis not beating his father.
Right. But that makes it worse.
He didn't do nothing to escalate anything. He didn't do anything to escalate anything. He just stood there.
Right. But what I'm saying to you is this: just standing there could affect his career for the rest of his life instead of just walking away. Because let's say the guy was unstable, he is drunk, and he walks up to Giannis, yakking and jacking, and Giannis stands there to listen to what this guy had to say.
I don't think Giannis would have let him get that close. Yeah, he wasn't within arm's reach. He wasn't in arm's reach.
But what I'm saying to you is this: the interaction of the situation puts Giannis and his career in jeopardy.
We're living in a post Malice in the Palace world, and the NBA players know, or they should know, what's at stake if this gets out of hand.
Right. I agree with that, and I think that Giannis, if the guy's unstable and Giannis turn his back on him, so you got to figure out like what. If the guy's like a threat or something like that. So Giannis was just standing there, and then somebody came over. People started to come over. So I thought that Giannis,
Listen, I mean,
I ain't taking off running. I mean, that's
no. As a man, the man myself, I'd have stayed there, got in his face, and did what a man would have done. But a millionaire. If I was a millionaire and knew what I had to lose,
he didn't get it, man. He just stood there. He ain't getting his face.
He got in his face. Yo, Giannis was in this dude's face. His head was touching the top of the man's head.
Man, that was after everybody had to explain to him who it was, and that's when everybody was in between them. Everybody was around them.
It don't matter. It just doesn't matter. Listen, with me. If I don't try to de-escalate something before I use lethal force, I'm in the wrong for that, regardless of what the situation is.
Well, okay, but hold on. Let's talk about the situation, because it's not just at the end of a game. It's at the end of the game where the Bucks had the lead with 40 seconds left, and they pissed away those 7 points and lost the game at the very end of the game, and now they're out of the playoffs. And so, I mean, I think to some degree, I'm going to give Giannis a little bit of a break here, because his head he's dealing with all these things all at once. If you're right, if this is just a game and it's the end of a game, he probably has the composure to turn around and walk away and say, I don't need this. But he's now just been confronted with the fact that my season's over. We're not going to compete anymore for a championship. And as a pro at a high level, he's dealing with a lot of the letdown of shit. This is over. And now you got this crazy drunk guy coming up and stirring the pot. So you're saying all the right things, man. And I agree with you 100%, but the context does have something to do with it in my mind.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen.
I think if Giannis would have would have been a crime of passion.
Hey, but I guarantee you, he'd have sued Giannis.
Oh yeah, he would have got a check. They'd have cut him a check, but still, I'm upset. I'd have made that check. That check would have been worth it. Though. I know I'm gonna cut him a check, but he gonna earn that check too.
It's just like what Jim say. You go back to Malice in the Palace, man. When them fans was coming down on the court, your first thing you do is like, hold up, man, don't let nobody do nothing to me. But he didn't walk up on. When he initially came out there, he didn't walk up on Giannis. He stood in front of him, like I say, maybe like 6 to 8 feet in front of him, and he was jabbing like that. Giannis, you could tell, Giannis didn't feel threatened. You know what I'm saying? You could tell by his reaction. He didn't feel threatened.
Yeah, he was like, who is this guy? What's this guy's deal?
Right, exactly. That's how he was
Oh man.
Like I said, though, if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks and I'm Giannis' agent, I'm like, dude, turn around and keep moving. Don't worry about what he said. Turn around and keep moving.
True. And I think security should be.
In hindsight, yeah, that's what you say. But yeah, man, when it was going on, and like what Jim just said, you trying to process the loss. You trying to process, damn, man, we out the playoffs first round. You might be even thinking like, damn, do I want to come back here and play for this organization with Doc Rivers again? Dame will be out all of next year. You know what I'm saying? He might be going through a lot, you know what I mean, in his head right now. And then this drunk fool out here yelling saying X, Y, Z, you know?
You're
it should have been better security too.
Right. I don't want to change the topic of the discussion, but do you think Doc Rivers needs to be back in Milwaukee next year?
No. Doc don't need to be nowhere next year, man. Doc don't need to be nowhere next year, man.
I agree with you, sir. I agree.
He don't need to be nowhere, man. I'm telling you, he don't need to be nowhere, man. That man, Doc, man.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in Doc. His performance over there, man.
Doc, man. Man, you just go back to when the time they had to acquire. They could have acquired somebody, man. He didn't want to trade his son when he was the coach with the Clippers, man. Don't even talk about the 3-1 lead in the playoff. He didn't gave up 3 times. I mean, it's just, man, there's always something with Doc, man. And
I think this whole situation in Milwaukee, I think that's management fault when they allowed like the players or whoever got them coaches out of there. Who was it? Mike Budenholzer?
Yeah.
You know, I think they just won the championship. What you get rid of him for?
Yeah. And then the dude that they brought in, he was playing and he was coaching well. Like we just said, he was coaching well.
Yeah, so like
working in the conference and stuff.
So once you start letting the players manage and general manage the team, this is what you get. Now Giannis was like, y'all not putting the right people around me. Now he got a ticket, a get out of jail free card when some of that is his fault.
Yeah.
Never would have traded Drew. Never would have traded Drew Holiday. Never.
I wouldn't have got rid of the coach. I wouldn't got rid of Budenholzer. I wouldn't got rid of him, and I would not have traded Drew.
Right. I definitely would have did that.
Yeah.
I definitely would.
You won a championship with those guys.
Exactly.
What you need to, you could tinker here and there through the draft, and a trade, like free agency or something like that. But you got Giannis.
And see, and that goes back to like what y'all was talking about, like with chemistry. Now if you say Dame, he's a better offensive player than Drew, okay, but he's not a better fit for that team than Drew was. You know what I'm saying? He's a better fit. You know what I mean?
They didn't have a point guard, a floor general. Once they got rid of Drew Holiday, they didn't have that.
And defense, Mike. Don't forget that part.
Yeah. Did they go to the finals the year before they before they made that trade?
Well, they won the championship. What was that in 2021?
I think it was 2 years later. 2 years later, man.
The year after they got rid of that coach, though.
The very next year they got rid of him. The very next year.
The year after they won that championship. I might be mistaken.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that either, but. Yeah, it wasn't long. It wasn't long. And then you bring Bergen off the scrap heap. That wasn't coaching nowhere. You bring him in. You fire the dude, Adrian Griffin. You know what I'm saying? He had the best record in the Eastern Conference at the time when he got fired.
Yeah.
So that wasn't performance based. That was something personal. He was
like 39-13, something like that.
Yeah. 37-13, 39-13, something like that. They fired him. So that was something personal.
Yeah,
Doc. Doc do what he always do. Doc do what he always do.
So yeah, that's Milwaukee. They messed that money up.
And let me tell you, Doc Rivers has had talent like a motherfucker everywhere he's gone.
Hell yeah,
crazy amount of talent.
Hell yeah! I remember every offseason for like 4 years in a row, people was picking the Clippers to win the championship.
Right.
Like 4 years in a row, they was picking the Clippers to win the championship.
Yeah.
Wasn't Doc Rivers the coach of the original Big Three at Boston?
Yeah.
They got one chip out of that. I think they underachieved. Call me crazy. Yeah. I think they underachieved. Losing to that Orlando team with the Dwight Howard and them, In the playoffs, man. Yeah. When they lost to them in 09, they underachieved. Yeah, they underachieved, man.
Yeah.
They did get back the second time, but they lost to Kobe and them in 2000. What was that? 2009, 2010, whatever. But yeah, man, I think remember he had T-Mac and them up 3-1 on Milwaukee, Stan Cassell and Big Dog and them. Lost that. You know what I mean? Lost that. You know what I'm saying? We was in Philly up 3-1. Was up on Philly when he was up 3-1 on when he was coaching Philly? What was that they was up 3-1 on? Lost that. You know what I'm saying?
Was it Boston? Was it Boston?
It
I don't know if it might have been.
I can't remember.
Yeah, he wanted to go on vacation or something. He just probably got bored, wanted to go on vacation or something.
He like, man, we up 3-1, man. It's all right. You know, lost that.
Yo, I'm just saying, the amount of talent that Doc Rivers had around him, he's been coached, and to come out the way he is, the way he's coming out now, man, I'm disappointed in it.
Yeah.
Because at one point in time, Doc Rivers was the best coach in the NBA.
Yeah, sure was.
So,
and he had a good coaching staff. He had Ty Lue and he had Sam Cassell on his staff. So, you know, he had good coaching staff around him.
He sure did. Yeah.
Hey, let me ask all of y'all. I'm going to switch gears real quick. Let me ask y'all opinion on this, right? The kid drafted out of Penn State to the New York Giants went and asked Lawrence Taylor if he could wear his number. What y'all think about that? And Lawrence Taylor said no.
That's a weird ask. That's a very weird ask.
Yep. You want my honest opinion of it?
Go ahead.
Very, very disrespectful.
Yeah.
Very disrespectful.
Yeah.
That's just immature.
You haven't you coming to the NFL, you know, I know you got accolades and you coming from a prestigious university, but at Penn State and the New York Giants, that's just like two different that's two different worlds, number one. And then you talking about Lawrence Taylor, you want to wear a Lawrence Taylor jersey, you know, like I don't know who is this advisor or who is in his ear, you know, like somebody could have been like, nah, that's not a good ask. Let's not go public with that.
Don't ask Lawrence. Go to the Giants organization and say something to them. Say, what do you think about this? And they'll tell them, hey, don't be doing nothing like that.
Like man, say not only is it disrespectful, man, it speaks to arrogance too. It speaks to arrogance. You understand what I'm saying? It speaks to arrogance, man. You talk about, man, arguably the greatest defensive player ever.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? The greatest defensive player ever, man. And you want to wear his number like Lawrence said, no, you pick your number and make that number legendary. You know what I'm saying? No.
And nobody done that. And that's the other crazy part. He didn't even wear 56 in college.
He wore 11. Yeah, he wore 11 in college. And that's why I said, no, you know, like
well, see, I think that was a legendary number. You went to Penn State?
Yeah.
That was a legendary number at Penn State. That was what's the name number when he came out?
Who was that?
What's my man name? Linebacker. Redskins draft. What's his name?
Was it LeVar?
LeVar wore 11. Yeah, LeVar wore 11. So I guess he figured I wore LeVar number at Penn State. Yeah. I'm gonna wear Lawrence Taylor number. You know what I'm saying? At the next level. No, hey, it's levels to this, man.
But you see, LeVar wasn't even when in Washington, LeVar wasn't he wasn't Lawrence Taylor.
Hell no.
You know what I mean? You know, so yeah,
like the song says, you don't tug on Superman's cape.
No, man, that was just that speaks to arrogance, man. I don't know if he did it a little tongue in cheek type thing, man, but you don't do that.
Yeah.
Hey, quick update. The Mystics 51, Indiana Fever 51 down at the end of the third quarter, where the Indiana Fever were down by 17 in the first quarter, and now it's 51-51. No Caitlin Clark.
Why Caitlin Clark not playing?
She had a hurt. She kind of had an injured leg, and they're saving her for the big game tomorrow against the Brazil team in Iowa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like y'all said though, it's arrogance and ignorance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
First of all, you're playing yourself because you're trying to say that I can be Lawrence Taylor. I will be Lawrence Taylor.
Right.
There's nobody that came after Lawrence Taylor that's Lawrence Taylor.
So you know what? Now they're gonna be looking at him and saying, now let's see if he earned the right to want to wear his number. Now now all eyes on him now. You understand? There's gonna be extra eyes on him just for that reason.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's see how nice he is. He wanted to wear 56. Let's see how nice he is. Yeah. Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you, the last time, to me, in my mind, that's the situation like this has happened, where somebody came in talking big shit and found out what the pros was about. Brian Bosworth, when he came in and said, "I will be the shit."
Yeah.
Ain't nobody stopped me because what I did in college, and he found out the pros was a whole different level. This young man is going to get a rude awakening once he gets to the pros.
Man, I'm gonna tell you. You can come in from college, man, thinking, man, I'm gonna wreck this. NFL ain't got nothing for me. You can come in thinking that. You don't say it. You understand? You don't say it. You can feel that way, but you don't say it. You know what I mean?
You're not going to intimidate. You're not going to intimidate anybody that's been in the league.
Right. Right.
There's a thin line between confidence and cockiness.
Yeah.
And he's cocky.
I think all exceptional athletes, a lot of those guys are delusional, and I think you got to be a little bit delusional. But then, like some of that, you gotta keep that to yourself. I think Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Ray Lewis, like if you have conversations with these, you know what I mean, you be like, man, these guys is reckless and delusional. But that's part of what make them guys great, right? So, but I think the thing is that like all of their thoughts and everything that's on their mind can't be made public, And these guys put their foot in their mouth sometimes. Though.
The most thing I can say, this is years ago, man. I saw they was interviewing Derek Jeter after a game, and he had this sign hanging up in his locker, and the sign said, "Confidence is what you feel, arrogance is what you say." You know what I'm saying? So you can feel confident, you understand, all the time, 24/7. But as soon as you say it, it's arrogance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, Mike, prime example is your boy Michael Jordan. He knew in his mind every time he stepped on court wasn't nobody better than him. But he ain't never say like, "Yo, I am the best." It was never like that with Mike.
He don't do it even now. He don't.
Right.
Yeah, even now he don't.
It's the era he came up in.
Yeah.
It's the man. I don't know if y'all saw this, man. This is a little bit off topic, but they was interviewing George Gervin. Looked like he was like in the lobby of a hotel or something, walking through. They like, "George Gervin, man, how you doing, Ice Man?" They say, "Man, how many points would you score? How many points would you average in today's NBA?" He said 0.
Yeah.
They're like 0. He said, "Yeah, 0." He said, "Man, these guys are way more athletic, way better than I ever was." He said, it's their time now. Let them enjoy their time like I enjoyed my time, right?
Yeah.
Even if he don't believe that, you know what I'm saying? It's okay to say that.
Right. Yeah.
It's okay to say like, "Nah, man, I ain't as good as these guys." You know what I'm saying? They way better than I was. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying all the time that these guys ain't this, these guys trash, how to kill. Everybody in my generation with an average 60. That just shows, humility. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
humility. Nothing's wrong with that. And that's where Mike takes a page from that. Mike came, him and Iceman played the season or two together. But I'm just saying that's where that comes from, respecting the people who came before you. You know what I'm saying? Respecting the people who came before you. A lot of that don't go on. Man. A lot of that don't go on. That's a cross sport. That's a cross sport.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why I said, like, I appreciated the fact that Kobe had number 8 and Woody had number 24. Because, carve your own lane. You don't want to be like everybody. What was that kid? Harold Miner, they calling him Baby Jordan and all that stuff. That's just a lot more pressure when somebody calling you Baby Jordan, and then other people want to go at you. And there's too many examples of people who come and put that extra pressure on themselves, and then they just don't. That pressure is just crazy.
And then don't even back it up. They come in saying the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
I'm the greatest to ever. You know what I'm saying? And they don't even back it up. You know what I mean? You're a career 7.3 points a game score, man. It's not here with that, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's what hurt Harold Miner, because he didn't have that great of a year. But if he wasn't compared to Jordan coming out the gate, he might have been an okay player. You know what I'm saying? We might have been talking about him as one of the good players, not great, but one of the good players.
I remember they played Jimmy Jackson, Ohio State one game. Man, Jimmy Jackson giving them dudes buckets. Man, giving them 50 the whole game, man. I'm like, man, that's the dude that say that's the next Jordan. Him, the left-hand dude, man, Jimmy Jackson was giving them buckets, man. I'm like, man, get out of here, man.
Yeah, where Harold Miner was at USC, right? He came out of USC. Yeah, I just think that, man, when you gotta carve your own lane. I remember I told a story about when I was young, and when you get in your jerseys and stuff, you playing basketball, everybody wanted that number 6. This before Michael Jordan was that dude, right? And you knew that if you put that number 6 on Dr. J number, you better be, you know what I mean? You better be right, or people going to drag you. You're supposed to be the best player on that team. You put that number 6 on. And so,
hey, what was Lim Bias' number? Was it Lim Bias number 6?
34.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So, certain numbers, man, those numbers come, even at playing at 10 years old, certain numbers just come with pressure. If you're not Dr. J or you're not Michael Jordan or Larry Bird, man.
Yeah. I always wanted, we always had low numbers, man. We couldn't, get no, man. But my number was always number 11, though. Ben BL. And
that's funny. That was my number.
Oh, for real? Yeah, that was my number, man. I was an Isaiah Thomas fan, man. So number 11, that was my number, man. Yeah.
Well, the last time
I had to get lucky. My year in high school when I played, because I started running back, my number was 34. So I was like, yeah, boy, I got that Bo Jackson number.
Right.
And when I went to college, I played quarterback and I got 13. I'm like, yes, must be as simple as I got the Dan Marino number. Right, yeah.
Yeah, the last time I played basketball was 6th grade, so that was my number. I won't even tell you what year that was.
Yeah. That's all right, though. That's all right.
Yeah.
Man, you get the BNBL jersey, man, you wear him in school. You want everybody to know you play BNBL.
Right, yeah.
You wear him in school.
Hey, Jim, y'all didn't have BNBL over there. What was y'all league called? Did y'all have like those like the house leagues and stuff over there where y'all play at?
Well, this was up in Minnesota, and I forget what it was called. It was just the youth league. It was just the youth league, and we didn't at that age we didn't play for like a school. It was just like a playground region,
like a house league.
Yeah. Like a rec league or something like that.
The Parks and Rec had they had literal parks that they based the hockey off of, the basketball, all the youth football and all the baseball. So I played for that area rec a park team. Yeah.
And with the community-based teams.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
So Jim, how y'all get from one park to the next? Y'all walk?
No, we just had we had a community center that we played the games at.
Okay.
And there were like 2 or 3 community centers that we played the games at, and the parents just had to show up with the kids.
Yeah, man.
That's back in the 70s, man. I'm talking 70s now, fellas.
Hey, hold up. I played youth league in the 70s too. So
I played in the 70s. In the 70s, I was playing late 70s. Playing basketball. That's when Dr. J, Dr. J was the dude. You was in the 80s, huh?
I was in the 80s because my first year 11 under BNBL, I played at 10.
Yeah.
So that's 84. That's 84. Yeah, I played BNBL. I played 2 years at 11 under. I played when I was 10 and played when I was 11. And then it was 13 under, 15 under, 18 under. I ain't get no burn, man. They wouldn't let me play. They wouldn't let me play 18 under. But I was only 15 though.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, man. I just think that. So I guess that kid. But before we get out of here, right? What anybody got? What's the news with the kid? What's his name? Isaiah Arena, Gilbert Arenas' son.
Yeah, Gilbert Arenas' son. What's the word on it? Y'all know?
Yeah, he's out of this coma, and they said he's doing better.
So he was in a coma.
Yeah,
it
he was in a coma.
Medically induced coma, just to help him heal up. I don't know what exactly was, but whatever trauma he went through, it was a medically induced coma to help his body heal up, and then they brought him out, and I guess he's home. But
so listen, right? I don't know the ins and outs. Was he the driver? Was he a passenger? Does anybody know that?
I don't know, but they said the first thing he did when he woke up out of the coma was ask how the other people were. So that shows definitely some character that's within that young man.
That's true.
That's true. Why didn't he worry about how he was physically? His whole concern was how the other people were.
So he had just played in the McDonald's All-American? He had just played in, or or one of them high school all-stars. What school was he going to? Do y'all know that?
I don't know. So Purebred T says he was driving home from UCLA.
So maybe that's where he was going to school at.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm with you, Purebred T. That was the exact text I sent to the group, man. That's one more reason why I'm not driving a Cybertruck.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, I saw that. I saw that text. So that's what he was in, the Tesla truck.
Oh, wow.
I guess those aren't too safe in crashes.
Dang it. That's unfortunate, man. I hope the young brother rests up, man, and get healthy.
What is his prognosis as far as like his recovery and stuff like that?
I don't know. From what I hear, I didn't hear anything about him sports wise. I just heard him about health wise that he's getting better.
Oh, that's
so. Good. I guess I worried about him playing basketball. That's probably like an afterthought. Not because acting was so serious.
Yeah. So Purebred T said he crashed the car. He crashed. The car caught fire and it locked him inside. Wow, I didn't. Yeah, see, I had no idea.
So he couldn't even get out the motherfucker.
That's crazy.
Well, hey, that's the thing with them Cybertrucks. Their key mechanism is all electronic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Dang. I heard somebody else say something about like they lock themselves outside of that one of those trucks though. I didn't know you could lock yourself inside.
Yeah, you lock yourself in. Dang, man. I hope we look a full recovery, man. I hope we look a full recovery.
Yeah.
I know he was like wasn't he like a 5-star recruit? He was like a 5-star recruit.
They say he nice. They say he nice. Yeah. I've seen like bits and pieces of him. I haven't sit down and watch like a full game up, but he nice though. Yeah, he nice.
Yeah, they say he can play.
Yeah.
Dang.
So hopefully, he'll make a full recovery.
Mike, so before we go, it's 2 game 7s today, right? 2 game 7s, right?
One tonight, one tomorrow night.
Golden State play tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. So the one today is what? Clippers in Denver?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Oh my goodness. That's gonna be a barn burner too. You got Kawhi Leonard going up against the Joker. I don't know who to pick in that game. I know,
man, because Jamal Murray went off. What was that game 6 he went off, or game 5 where he went off and had 40 or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, man. So like you say, that's like a toss-up. Hopefully, if you can give the coaching edge to Tyronn Lue, you understand? You get a coaching edge to Tyronn Lue, but it might not even come down to coaching.
I'm surprised though that this coaching move for Denver didn't come back and bite them sooner. You know what I mean? Like as far as like messing up team chemistry. This guy, whoever the coach is, I don't even know the guy's name, but for
that's Rick Allen's son. Remember Rick Allen used to coach the Blazers?
Mm-hmm.
His son.
I remember Rick Allen. Yeah.
Yeah, his son coaching.
He's doing a good job though.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna come down to: Westbrook and Harden. That's what's gonna come down.
Yeah,
that's not a bad point. Yeah,
it's gonna be a chess match. It's gonna be
a chess
match. Because Harden be choking. You know what I mean? You know, I hate to bring that up.
And, you know,
that's Westbrook's MO.
Yeah, and look, and
maybe because Harden
said the same thing.
Yeah, maybe because Harden is not the number one, he won't be put in a position where he can choke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe because Kawhi the number one, he the alpha. Less pressure on Harden. I mean, he got to play well, but there's less pressure on him. You know what I mean? To be the one and carry the team. So maybe it'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you waiting for Harden. You know what I'm saying? You waiting for him to lay an egg, man. It's like you waiting for him to lay an egg, man. No matter what.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm with purebred Tito. I just can't really trust Harden, man.
I know, man. You can't. He ain't gave you no reason to trust him, man. In the playoffs, they ain't gave you no reason to, man.
Hey, but look at Westbrook. I mean, the Joker's gonna get his points. You know, Kawhi's gonna get his points. You know, now you got to depend on Westbrook, and one got to depend on Harden.
No,
man. Harden is not the number 2 over there, though. Yeah, you got Murray.
Go ahead, Mike.
No,
you do have. Yeah, Jamal Murray. You got Murray over there. Then you got then you got Michael Porter. What's his name?
Got Aaron Gordon over there. So Westbrook, he's a small piece. He's a small piece.
Yeah, Westbrook coming off the bench, but he's giving them 20, 25 points off the bench.
I like him coming off the bench.
Right. I like that role for him too. Yeah, I like that role for him too.
Just don't put the ball in either of their hands at the end of the game.
That's right, and that's the thing. Right. And that comes down to coaching.
That comes down
to coaching, Jeff. You know what I'm saying? The ball is going to run through Joker. Well, it does anyway. And on the Clippers side, you know what I mean? Kawhi, you know, everything begins and ends with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now I agree with purebred T. He said, but to be honest, Harden never had a true number 2 star next to him in Houston. Everybody was either old, hurt, or problematic, and that's true. I'm just basing my opinion just on his performance, and you know what I mean. He didn't always have the best situation, but like when you shoot like 3 for 30 something, you know, in a game that y'all gotta have, you know, I'm just basing it on, you know, his performance individually.
Yeah, and then you know he had playoff series where if you look at the series, you know what I mean, he got his numbers, but it's like when they needed the most, you know what I'm saying? When he needed the most, he he never showed up. And
right.
So,
yeah, man. So that's about. Hey, man, what y'all got planned for the rest of the day?
I might check out the rest of this Indiana Fever game, see how they're looking.
We might go check out that movie, The Accountant 2. We might go check that out with Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
We might go check that out.
I like the first one.
Yeah. I like the first two. Yeah, I like the first two.
Yeah.
Had a couple of good twists I didn't see coming.
Yeah. And I talked to a couple guys I work with. They say The Accountant 2 was real good. So we might go see that. Yeah, we might go see that.
I gotta go.
If not, we're gonna go see Sinners again. We're gonna go see Sinners again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is that good? Is that good?
I thought it was good. Yeah,
I like it.
I gotta go see that.
All right.
Yeah.
But that I definitely gotta check out Ben Affleck and the other guy. I don't know his name, but
I like him too as an actor. Yeah, I like the other guy too, the one playing his brother. I like him too.
Yeah.
Him too.
Punisher. I always forget his name too.
Yeah, I don't know his name. Yeah, but yeah, that's it. No, that's about it.
Yeah, man. Appreciate everybody who was purebred. Appreciate you chiming in, participating in the chat. Appreciate everybody who was who was checking us out today.
Definitely
appreciate y'all, fellas, man. And we'll be back. So who played tonight? The Clippers play tonight. All right, so we'll check them out. That'll give us something to talk about tomorrow. Y'all want to make a pick?
I can give my analysis of the NHL playoffs.
Oh, okay, and
how Toronto got past the first round, but how they're going to choke against the Panthers.
Yeah. Hey, Jim, we rely on you on that, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we rely on you on getting our hockey fix in, man. Yeah, so you gotta keep us updated on that, man.
Keep an eye on the Capitals.
Okay.
Yeah, the Washington Capitals.
I like how they're playing.
Okay.
And the Blues are looking to upset the Winnipeg Jets, who the Winnipeg Jets are the #1 team in the bracket. And all of a sudden, the Blues, who limped into the playoffs, they got a shot. They're forcing Game 7.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Good talking to you guys, man. Sorry I was late, man. Sorry I was late.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good, man.
And, I'll see y'all next time, man.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Take it easy, fellas.
All right, man. Everybody, make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment. And we will be back tomorrow, Sunday, to talk about the Clippers and the Nuggets. So we'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. And with that being said, I'm out, and we'll see you in the morning. Peace.